Alright, umsakazo kwamba phambili Inanda 88.4 FM 3 Space Radio. You beautiful one coming from Uthina Zungu eThezulwini basilindile khona la emsakazweni Inanda 88.4 FM at 3 Space Radio. Alright ke it is exactly 40 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. Igama lami ngumfundo ngwakamthembu hold it down until 12 o'clock. Alright ke igama lehlelo nje sithi asilungiseni ukhona lapha na ke uThabo Samboti akhona nama guest ethu wasiphatha uprofessor namhlanje kuzima kakhulu namhlanje yeah. Otherwise ke mafuna ukuxhumana nathi ungaya lapha na WhatsApp 068 7649969 kanti lapha na ke ku Facebook page satholakala @Inanda 88.4 FM update @Inanda 88.4 FM update. Alright ke before ngiye kuma guest nje ake siqale la yabona namhlanje uzo nje ngongena kwami ukuthi kuyagijinywa isikhathi asikho kushingoma. Alright ke ake siqale la before sidlulele kuma guest
The following program contains mature subject matter, coarse language and discussions of religious beliefs, ways of life and those of sexually suggestive nature. These may seem offensive to sensitive listeners and parental discretion is strongly advised.
Alright ke umsakazo kwamba phambili Inanda 88.4 FM at today's base radio coming to you live from Inanda Community Safety Center. Alright ke bengishilo la ukuthi khona ke lapha na ke uThabo Sambota khona amanye ama guest yabo Thabo ake umuntu engimvumayo nesikhamso ama guest njengawo
Phatha ama international
kuphela yeah. Sibingelele mfoka Samboti sikwamukele emsakazweni
mfundisi sibonge.
Yes
sibingelele kumlaleli weInanda 88.4 FM indawo ngendawo la bekhona sibonga umdala usigcinile sasitha umdala mayivumile siyawuphinde sihlangana hayi ke umdala usivumelile sibonga nemvula siyabonga nanti liyana umdala engathi nje angaloke eyihlise nje kanje ithungena kakhulukazi kwabatshalile naseyilwaneni ziyathokoza makwazi ukuthi hayi nokudla kuzoba khona sonke siyathokoza siyabonga kakhulu namhlanje mfundisi sinama guest poster ke isishilo ukuthi sino Sar Ahmadiel sasemgcine ngo December last year umuntu obuyayo ekusho ukuthi imsebenzi uyabuya eThekwini kodwa mayifika eThekwini tholakala ukuthi mhlambi phakathi nensuku isikhathi asikho bese engazithola isikhathi namhlanje ke ukhona ke uSar Ahmadiel ben Yehuda umfundisi lo wase waleka Israel.
Alright
umfundisi waleka Israel wamaHebheru. So sicela ke utshele omunye atshele omunye ukuthi akavula Inanda FM njengamanje ngoba okuphathwe namhlanje kunzima
ngokhimbodo.
We normally have our hostess here. Today she couldn't make it. So
okay.
We have a female representation in the studio.
That's cool.
So
especially during the time that the 21st is the shutdown, right?
So we are lucky to have you in the studio today.
Thank you so much.
Professor Michelle, please.
Meshane Williams.
Meshane Williams.
Yes.
Professor Williams. Yes, Meshane Williams. Could you please introduce yourself to the listeners of Inanda FM?
Johnny.
Siapila.
Really wonderful to be here in South Africa, and especially on a community radio station, as opposed to I'm not trying to put down tourism now, but in the community is where you really see the people. Where you get the experience of what's happening, and where the need is in the community. And that's how I grew up, basically. So I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to learn more.
And we're excited to have you. Maybe if you can just tell us a bit, like, who is Professor Williams?
Professor Williams is an advocate, an artist. She's always engaging with her inner child, even at the most strange times. So my background is in art, music, as well as performance art.
Oh, cool.
I've done music, I've recorded.
Yes.
Maybe I can bring a song and play.
All right.
And I've also photographed for the United Nations, all heads of state. I'm also a public speaker.
Yeah.
I've spoken for the United Nations for Human Rights.
Yes.
And I'm a lecturer. I love farming.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Oh, gosh, do I love farming. So I'm actually thinking about doing some community farming in the future. Since I've been here, I've been visiting child welfare.
Yes.
I'm hoping to use my voice for one of their commercials, which they will submit.
Okay.
5,000 orphans, maybe more, and 7 workers. So I'm hoping to help document that as well.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great.
We hope by the time we go on break, we'll have your songs. We can play your songs the whole show today.
Oh, I would love that. I would love
Play
that.
the songs the whole show.
Yeah. I've been
We wouldn't miss that opportunity.
Please,
let you.
please.
I'm already searching for them.
Yeah, music is medicine.
Yes, yes.
It's medicine.
Yes.
And I started doing music when I was in high school.
Yes.
And then I stopped doing music because the conversations around music, and especially with entertainment, had nothing to do with the community and the children.
Yes.
So that's when I stopped.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's great. All right, umsakazo wakhamba phambili Inanda 88.4 FM, today's best radio. And then I'm sure a lot of our guests at home are hearing this beautiful accent. Like Professor Williams, who initially, like originally...
I love that when you say that about the accent, right? Because everybody has approached me. As soon as they hear the accent, they say, you're American, right?
Yeah.
And then I say, yes, I'm a citizen of the world.
Yeah.
And you're a citizen of the world, too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into politics, but we know that this accent somehow has a bit of a reputation now due to a certain individual.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get that name out right now.
Yeah.
But we're aware, all in this room, that this accent has a slight bit of a different meaning now with what's happening globally, right?
Yes, yes.
Yet I am a citizen of the world, and so are you.
Yeah.
And the truth is, we're all Africans.
Yes.
We're all Africans.
Yes,
right?
yes, that's the truth.
And so when we recognize that, then we recognize our humanity.
Yes.
Right.
All right, umsakazo wakhamba phambili Inanda 88.4 FM, today's best radio. And then another one of our guests, is it Sar?
Sar Ahmadiel Ben Yehuda.
Yes. Welcome back.
Thank you, brother.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
Likewise.
How have you been?
Super.
Yes.
Great. We better be good in these days and times.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of information that you gave us the last time you were here, and we're looking forward to have you more, to have more information, especially from you yourself as well as Professor. We're looking forward to a more fruitful engagement this afternoon.
Great.
All right.
Likewise. Been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Sar Ahmadiel.
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 Yeah.
Oh, you don't say that like the Arabs.
No. That's a completely different name.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for gracing us with your presence again. And looking at the time, because I know you have a lot in that bag of yours. You have a lot. So I don't want us to let you go with the info and take it back. And we also, luckily, we have the professor today. So the last time we spoke, we were going to go more into we missed out the part about Dimona. But before we get into Dimona, we can draw lessons from Dimona. In our country at the moment, there's a lot of riots. There's a lot of chaos. I must just say it's chaos.
Sure.
And looking at our topic today, as you're saying, it says the end of the world and the new direction for Mzansi. We really need direction because we look like we're like headless chickens. We have no direction where we're going. And there's a lot of when we look at things going on here, black on black, it's like chaos. I won't say it's violence because it hasn't got to that point at the moment. maybe because we can see that the system has made it a point to destroy the black family structure. So since the family has been destroyed, you can see it filtering down. So we won't have a nation with that has order, in fact. From your observations and maybe advice you can give, Sir, looking at the situation in South Africa, and maybe also in this, because at how fast we're going for a break, maybe we can do this in 6 minutes, or even when you come back, we can give us your take on the situation, how you view it, what's wrong, and how can we fix it? Maybe drawing from the lessons from Dimona as well. Maybe to give you from where I'm coming from, because I've been even speaking to some Boers, the Boer nation, the Afrikaner.
Sure.
Yeah, they've been telling us how they got themselves where they are, because they didn't go into the system. They got this thing of working for self, the family structure, work for self. Don't wait for handouts. I think that's where we got it wrong as well, because we're relying too much on the system, because it promised us it would give us everything, so we don't do for self. From your observation in the country, from someone from outside, where did we get it wrong, and how can we get it right?
As always, I'd like to first give all honor and praises to the Holy One of Israel, to Yah, to the Creator, to all those that are in search of truth, justice, peace, mercy, love on this plane of our existence. I greet each and every one of you. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be unto you. I will jump to the answer and the solution, and the problem that we face is not an economic problem. It's not a political problem. It's a spiritual problem. And until we correct that relationship with the Maker, with our Maker, with the Creator, with Yah, until we rectify that and reconcile that, everything else in our lives is going to go to pot. And to give you a quick example, your Constitution, when it was being ratified or being debated in 1993 in preparation for your freedom, it began by saying, "We, the people of South Africa, in humble submission to God, ... That was what was on the table in 93. You got your freedom in 94. In 1996, when the final Constitution was ratified, any reference to God was deleted. It just says, "We, the people of South Africa." What did you think was going to be the result if you take God out of your governance, out of your schools, out of your culture? It's not going to be a vacuum left. There aren't but two forces. We are, as African people, our greatest strength is our spirituality, which I would define as our relationship with God, with the creation, etc. Not religion. People will say, "Oh, spiritual. Oh, here's another religion." I'm not a religious person. We, as a community in Dimona, which we'll talk about, are not religious people. We feel that religion is really the major problem on the planet. We've got to get out of that mindset, return back to common sense values. As the scripture says, "Seek ye the old paths." Go back. We're sitting on the wealthiest soil in all of the wealthiest continent. How could we have an economic problem? You take God out of governance, you end up with corruption. What did you expect? What did you expect? Do you want your sons and daughters to be able to, as they grow up, to decide one day, "I don't want to be that gender. I want to swap. I want to switch up"? That's allowable in your Constitution. It's encouraged in your television program. It's encouraged in the entire culture that we've adopted here is foreign and anti-life. So it's no wonder we're in this mess right now. But most Africans would say South Africa leads the way. And I would agree. they're leading the way, but in what direction?
I would say, I knew you'd make it before we go and break it. And you said it all. You didn't even summarize it. You just gave a mouthful.
I can go and everybody's clear, right?
Wow.
You just, you know why I came to this. And I know we're going to get some lessons from Dimona. It's because I had to go back to the people who were said to be our oppressors, the Boers, and ask them, you came to this land they came as slaves, in fact, for the Dutch, and they got freedom from them.
Okay.
And then they fought their way, taking the land from us, and they built whatever they built. And he said the same thing, one Boer. I said, what's your problem? It's because you have taken God out of everything, and you based everything on idols and dead people. He didn't even say ancestors. He said dead people.
Dead people.
And you don't worship God anymore. So once you take God out of the picture,
right,
you'd be lost forever.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he said.
It makes sense.
Alright, ke umsakazo khomba phambili Inanda 88.4 FM today's best radio coming to you live from Inanda Community Safety Center. Alright ke uma ke ufuna ke nje ukuthi usibekele nawe ke nje udaba noma ufuna nje uPaula one of the things I can quote from what professor was saying ukuthi ke inkinga esinayo akuyona inkinga yemali futhi akuyona inkinga yezepolitiki kodwa inkinga it's a spiritual problem. Ilete sinesibhekele nayo. Ufuna ukuxhumana nathi 0687649969 ubeke udaba lakho kuloyo ndawo. Okay, kwamanje ke nangu lapha ke usama Jobe nezindaba.
It's rebel. So rebel is one, rebel is many. And I did that song when I was very frustrated by the government contract. And again, I was frustrated about violence, the internalized hatred, the dehumanization of women and each other. So I got into the studio and I decided to scream. Most of my music is very soft. It's like, kind of like very soft, love music. And this one I said, guys, I'm just going to and let it out.
Yeah.
And that's one of my most one day I'll catch.
Thank you, Prof. Letting on a lot of back to you, sir. We just told this while you were just giving us more of the info. And you told it with the solution, in fact. As I was saying, I had to go back to the Boers and ask them, because I'm looking for solutions everywhere. So you told me how they do things. And what I love is the God part that you said that they said there was a God part. Even if these guys are prisoners, but they know this God. And they're always like, they got this power. And we are just, where do we get the source? Where do we get the energy? Where the ultimate power and the wisdom? Where do we draw it from? Whatever we do as no God. And I see the system is doing this on purpose because they want us to vibrate low, when you are angry, then keep on marching, doing all these things, but where's God in all this? Yeah, so good to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you again, Tavo. I have to go back to our beginning in this dispensation of time, and that was with a vision that was received by our spiritual leader, Ben Ami, who in 1966, in a very turbulent time, a very troublous time in America, the civil rights movement was coming to a head, and you talk about violence. Violence was rampant in the 60s for us at that point. Another kind of violence, but Ben-Ami received a vision that it was time for us to go back to the Promised Land. He understood he was an Israelite. His parents told him when he was growing up that he was an Israelite, and he was part of a congregation in Chicago. And he would ask the elders, well, when is it time for us to go back to Israel? And they would always say, it's not time. We're waiting on this, waiting on that. And that didn't rest well with him. So in prayer and meditation, he's visited by the angel Gabriel, who says it's time to lead your people out of the captivity, because that's what America was for us. It was a captivity. And so my sister talking about rebel and to rebel, I relate very closely with that, because in fact, some people still call me a rebel, you know. And that's fine. If you're rebelling against an unrighteous, unjust system, you should. That is just logical that you should be of that mindset. And so Ben-Ami was true to his instructions in the vision, and he led 400 of our brothers and sisters out of the captivity into Liberia in 1967. And fast forward 2.5 years later, there were only 138 remaining. The remainder, the other of them, the other 2/3, almost 3/4, went back to America, went back to the land of the captivity, went back to what we not so affectionately call Babylon, place of confusion. And so those 138 were those who were handpicked, who had gone through the fire, gone through the wilderness, and then were ready to venture back to the land of our ancestry, our ancestral homeland, the land of Israel. Not the state of Israel. There's a difference. We don't recognize the state in that sense. It's a reality. It's an important geopolitical reality. But the biblical Israel is much broader and bigger than that. The Promised Land is from the Nile to the Euphrates. That's verifiable in anyone's scriptures. And so that's important to acknowledge. But fast forward, our mission and objective on arrival in Israel was, the question literally came, now what? We've traced our roots back. We're back in our homeland. Now what? And that took us, the identity took us to our purpose. And the purpose of Israelites is to be a light unto the nations. It was through Abraham's seed that all the nations of the earth were promised to be blessed. So how does that manifest itself? So we knew we had a divine calling and mission to begin to pioneer a lifestyle, a culture, a way of life that would set things back in order. So when you talk about violence, Tabo, I got to kick back on that, because number one, where is it? Cover page, Sowetan. All these young women were murdered in the course of a month. This is Fridays. This is Fridays. So where does this come from? Gender-based violence. Now that's just a big issue, and we GBV it's got initials, you know. But who's really looking at the root causes of these things? And we would simply say that real men don't treat women like this. People don't treat other people like this. We have been dehumanized. And so someone's got to get to the root causes of these things and understand that we're looking at a culture and a people who are not a people. And that's something that's prophetic, actually. That's prophetic. So that's just GBV. There's violence on our plates. You know, the slaughtering of animals to consume, the blood, the horror. Do you think that those animals don't have sense? They don't feel and understand the slaughtering that's going on ahead of them in the abattoir, in the what do you call it? In the
abattoir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. They sense that, and all that toxin in the form of adrenaline is in their system, and it's on our plates. 50 years ago, our people didn't eat meat 3 times a day. We didn't even think we sufficed ourselves on the vegetables, the grains, the nutrients that came from the soil. And so this foreign idea of what is nutritious and what we should sustain ourselves with is killing us. Cancers, high blood pressure, that's violence. let's look at the healthcare system, because when you get diabetes,
Call it the death care.
right, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So this came in the Mail and Guardian as a special edition, and it was, one of the pages struck me. It's honoring graduates of a training program for Coca-Cola. They went to Henley Business School, okay, and they're being honored here. This is Coca-Cola. And so people are saying, oh, this is great, this is advancement, we're progressing. And the reality is you have now 37 new graduates for Coca-Cola who are learning marketing and expanding the Coca-Cola brand. Don't you know that's more diabetes? Don't you know that's more cancer? That's
Obesity.
More sickness, obesity, everything that goes with that. So we have to have a different idea and a different way of discerning what these things actually mean. Is it progress to open up a new hospital? Doesn't that mean that somebody's planning more people to be sick and dying? Progress, real progress, if it was carried in the Sowetan, would say Baragwana being torn down. Because that would mean, there's no demand, there's no sick people. But that's not the case. Also I think it's on the other side of this, right, on the opposite side of the cover. 7,300 patients hurt at Joburg hospitals in a year. At Joburg hospitals in a year.
Had inside the hospital.
Inside. You go to the hospital to be healed, to be helped, and that's where you are harmed, even killed. It's at a staggering rise from the previous year. This included patient accidents. These were preventable medical errors, poor care, and substandard conditions. Well, that's no surprise either. What is the number 3 cause of death in America? Great America, the most advanced and richest society on the planet. The number 3 cause of death after cancer, after heart disease, is the health care system itself. Oops, made a mistake. Oops, prescribed the wrong medication. Oops, the right medication resulted in adverse side effects. Well, what kind of system is that? So in Dimona, we realized early on, 50 plus years ago, in fact, we were led into it by Yah himself, because we were not allowed health care. We did not have access to health care on arrival in Israel. And it meant we had to turn inward and develop our own system for health care. And literally, we couldn't afford to get sick.
Every time we are deprived of something, that's where God kicks in and the mind opens up. That's what a Pakistani told me here one day. He said, you know, the way you behave, you guys, it's because your stomachs are full. Once your stomach are empty, your brain is going to start kicking in, because
too much Sam.
Yeah, you eating too much on your food. You can't see anything, and you're blaming everybody.
Yeah.
He said that's how we got here, because we started being hungry. Yeah. Then we started learning how to do things for self. Yeah. And it even takes me back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was people who were segregated.
Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street, and they had to practice group economics, and they had to build themselves up. Yeah. But now, if the system says no, we're going to give you everything. We called it what in America? This
welfare.
Welfare, yeah. Child support and whatever, everything.
Yeah.
You sit and relax.
Yeah. And now look, now all of that, the benefits and all that's being taken away.
We're blaming everybody else now.
And it's a plan. There's a plan.
It is a plan.
There's a plan. You mentioned about the end.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in our theme for today.
Yes.
And most people understand the end times, the last days. They see it as the end of the world, the end of the planet. That's why I said, no, not say end of the world, end of this world.
Yes. What do you call
it's
it?
The end of this world.
Level of consciousness.
It's got to be different.
They call it the rapture.
The rapture.
Yeah.
And many people under religious influence will expect literally that two of us will be friends growing up, and then one day you Topple goes up into the sky, into some
Yes.
alien spacecraft or
Yeah.
something. That's not the rapture. The rapture is here. This is the war in heaven. When you elevate in your thinking and consciousness, you go to a higher plane. I'm not going to follow you. If I want to stay down here where we're drinking and hanging out and chasing girls all weekend or all week, I stay down here. You have raptured. You've been raptured to a higher level of consciousness, but you won't stay by yourself. You will join others that think like you. So the problem is the thinking. It's the mindset. That's what has to be changed, and that can only happen when you bring new teachings, a new doctrine, a new idea. That's what Demona represents.
Heaven is between the two temples.
Right. There you go. Not in the temple.
Yeah.
Not in the church. Not in the synagogue or mosque.
Temples.
It's here. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now you can continue because I see you on the Prof. You want to come in?
I was going to say that when the system fails, it's many different forms of genocide. That's how it is.
Yeah. So genocide. Wow, we hear that word a lot. And genocide is the definition. I got this from a book in South Africa, by the way, who was arguing that what the Boers and what apartheid did to you was not defined as genocide. And his argument was that there has to be with intent to destroy. And that I mean, how do you measure that? Well, let's go back to this idea of violence and what have you. We live in a society. Let's go to the scripture.
Yeah.
Let's go to Yeshua's own words in the 24th chapter of Matthew. It's known as the Mount Olivet Discourse. And he's being approached by his disciples, and they ask him, "What shall be the sign of thy coming?" Now, there's a mistranslation there. It's one word that's mistranslated, but it means a world of difference. He doesn't say that they didn't ask him, "What shall be the sign of thy coming?" The word should be presence.
Oh, yeah.
What would be the sign of your presence? Not coming. Coming is future. Yeah, we're waiting. It's still coming. Thy kingdom come. Well, will it come in someone's lifetime? So when he goes on to say, rumors of wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, earthquake, right? Those were the signs that that spirit, was back. Not that he was still coming, that he was back. And so that's a critical difference. And so the idea that we're waiting for something to happen, look around us. This world has already ended. Spiritual precedes the physical. Come out of her, my people, Revelation 18. Come out of her, my people, for Babylon the Great has fallen. Past tense.
Yeah. Has fallen.
It's not getting ready to fall. It's not fitting to fall.
It's
fallen already. If you only had eyes that could see and say, wow, this place is void of the Spirit of Yah, of God. And if that's the case, it's just a fleshly vessel waiting to decline and fall, or to fall. And the idea of coming out of her was so that you can avoid being there when it fell on you. Well, that was for us in America.
Exactly.
In the captivity,
exactly.
in the Western Hemisphere. We know that society is finished. We had to come out of it physically so, but we still had to start here. Your challenge, you still have to come out. You don't get away. In Africa, you don't get away. You still have to come out of her, because Babylon is an idea. And that idea has deep roots in South Africa. So have to come out of that idea, that European idea. Oh, oops, did I say that? Did I put pants on the devil, as the Nation of Islam used to say? Yes, we have to be honest and recognize that the European idea is what has brought our planet to destruction. So Yeshua's words were, except those days be what? Shortened, there would no flesh be saved.
Thank you.
Yeah. After the news, we're coming back.
All right.
Nazi izindaba zenanda 88.4 FM zikunika ulwazi neqiniso. Sigijima kwi-highway izwi lethu kuphela elindizela phezulu uhlokokuzi ngelomoya igagasi i-vibe eyethu Inanda 88.4 FM today's best radio.
Inanda 88.4 FM. Sihleli nomfundisi la umvelasi ngithaka ngiboleka isingisi. Usangiboleka isingisi sakhe la nami ngilongibuye ngithi ukuhlephula kancane kusona isisherish isingisi. Kunzima namhlanje mfundisi. Ukhumbula ke mlaleli connect 0687649969 0687649969 ngiphethe umfundisi Ahmadiel la Ben Yehuda indodana ka Yehuda kusho njalo njengoba noJesu kwakuthiwa uYeshua Ben Yusuf kokuyindodana ka Joseph ngiphethe uprofessor la uWilliams futhi kuningi kuzosala ukuningi kodwa ke mlaleli okunya ke mhlambe sobe sesisele mfundisi kulamasontaazayo sesingidlala ngesizulu kahle ukuthi kwakuthiwa la kwakuthiwa sesiquote kubona ngenxa yesikhathi siyalidedela nje ukuthi likaJuji bayichaze lento esithemba abanye abezwayo bazosizakala kakhulu ngalolu hlelo la namhlanje akaqali ukufika ke umfundisi ke Ahmadiel ke la kulolu hlelo njengoba sephinde wabuya futhi sibonga kakhulu uthi umdala aphinda ambuyise khona enye insizwa la studio yiyo le ngishutha ebheke ngala nayo isazokuchaza ukuthi izoza nini iyabaleka ukuza la Inanda FM isivele ke yatheleka so ibambe egcineni isho ibophezele yona ukuthi iza nini la estudio ngoba naye iphethe umgodlo ogcwele mhlambe uyofika sesoyihlaziya nawe lenkulumo ekhulunywa namhlanje. Sir, thank you. And Prof, we're continuing now. Okay. With all this we were talking about the violence, and off air we're talking how the system plays us against each other. Who's coming in first now? Prof, you said something when I was talking about Ghana, how when the people from the diaspora were sent to Ghana, they were invited, in fact, to Ghana, not sent to Ghana. They were invited by the government. They got there. They didn't understand why the locals didn't like mixing with them or intermingling with them. And then they found out there was a video circulating showing the American culture and telling the locals not to intermingle with these Americans because they're bringing all these drugs, they're bringing all this alcohol and all this bad culture. So they're going to contaminate the Ghanaians. So I also see that, it's starting in South Africa, that you see that it's the locals against other Africans. It's also, there's something like that happening. I think it's the system playing us against each other.
Everywhere around the world. I mean, if there's division, then at the same time there can be no uprising. If there's unity, then there's knowledge. Everybody comes together, they have knowledge. We learn from each other. And so that has happened all the way from slavery. Willie Lynch. We'll start with Willie Lynch. Get one slave to hate the other slave, and it just goes on and on. So even up until now. We can also talk about epigenetics. Epigenetics is something that's quite evident, that's even going on in the Middle East. It's going on in Africa, but it's been here forever. Epigenetics plays through with mental illness, murder, the rate of murder, even epigenetics in femicide, the rates of femicide. So the way that I was raised is that the system, it's not that the system doesn't work. It's that the system is working very well when it actually has all these different ways of putting out genocide. When the hospitals aren't working well, when the murder rates are high, when the internalized hatred is high, and there's no education to even understand our own history to empower thyself, because you go way back. We're royalty, right? Royalty is loyalty. And at this point, we don't really think of ourselves as royalty. So sometimes I know that I've had that experience, and not with too many people, but coming like, who does this person think she is? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not engaging 100%, going out and drinking. I still have that space of sacredness, close to God, of course, and that space in which it is that I do honor God and the ancestors. So I also believe that that's not just here in Africa, it's all the way around the world, where those of us who do honor the Almighty, and that is traditional for us. That's traditional for many parts of the world. They're even talking about that in the United States right now as far as God, and they're using God as a way of separation now, because they put that in the system. We the people, God, and it's on the dollar bill. So you have one that's taking it out, and you have one that's putting it in to create Christian nationalism. That's what it is, Christian nationalism. So
dangerous force.
Exactly. But for myself, I still try to come with a high vibration.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not getting angry, I must also understand that a lot of individuals are indoctrinated into a way of thinking. And that's the way that I'm able to embrace my compassion, instead of being like, who do they think they? Because that's what they really want us to do.
Yes.
Right?
Don't think.
But also think that maybe you can teach them by walking in grace. Maybe you can teach them by carrying yourself with God's grace, and maybe reminding them somewhere deep down inside in their DNA that they are royalty too.
History is important.
Very important.
That's why I said, the Buddha said to me, you worship dead people. We worship God. And we draw lessons from the dead, our ancestors, what they did. So we draw lessons from them. We don't worship them. You guys, your problem is you don't draw lessons from those who have passed. You want to worship them and put them in the place of God. Something like that. Sir, be back to you.
On the idea, I'm in and out of Ghana quite often. I have a daughter who's married, got 3 grandsons there, married to an Awe prince. So that, the division, the attempts to sow the division are I would say, they're destined to fail. But I think it's a legitimate concern on the part of any African country that when they open their doors to the African in America,
there you go,
that they do need to take heed and be cautious, because you don't want them to bring the music that is talking about their daughters as whores and bees. You don't want the gangster, rap violence, projecting things. You don't want that. There are certain elements of a culture, of a people who've been enslaved for more than 4 centuries. Obviously, that's not a healthy culture. So they would do well, African countries would do well to filter those who are returning back. So that's a legitimate concern, I'm not mad at them about that. In fact, I advocate for that. You mentioned about the Boers and their God. Their God is not our God. There's no way. That wouldn't even make rational sense.
Yeah.
That how could the same man who robbed and enslaved you be the one to reach out to save you?
Yeah.
That's incongruent, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I want to quote Botha,
1985.
Who, and this is 1985. Okay, Botha says, no white minority anywhere in the world has done more to raise the standards of living of black communities as we have over the years. We are a Christian people. We know our jobs. We know our duties. They, the African, can't raise themselves up without our help. If you want proof of that, you can find it in the rest of Africa. End quote. Now, that's hard to argue with when you look at the rest of Africa, when you look at Africa.
Yeah.
How does it make sense that we are in last place everywhere, that we are endangered everywhere you turn, that we are behind in every category? The only places we lead are in cancers and blood pressure, kidney failure, and so forth. We lead in those areas. So what is the problem? As I said in the beginning, it's spiritual. We relate to the Creator as a father figure, our Father who art in heaven, a parent who consults with his wife or wives, okay, who has no problem being in touch, as they say, with his feminine side, because together they would rule, okay? But father, in a household, the father is that final authority. And so our Father has obviously, let's go to the idea of parenting.
Yeah.
If you have a child and you train and you teach the child and you start them off with fiscal, responsibility, you give them a little allowance. And after observation, you realize that he's going to waste this. He spends it frivolously. He's doing things he shouldn't do with it. You're not going to set aside your inheritance for him.
True.
You're going to withhold that. So fast forward. Look at us as a people. Again, sitting on all this platinum, all this gold, all these diamonds, all this timber. Name the resource. We have it. We're sitting on it. It's ours. But why do others control it? Maybe it's because the Creator knows that I can't give all this to them, because they're gonna do like these other folks are doing with it. They're going to waste it. They're going to misuse it. They're going to, again, violence. What kind of economic system allows for there to be such a huge disparity between the haves and the have-nots? That's violence. To have people who see the advertisements, who see the cars, who see the houses, who go to work every day and then have to go back to a shack somewhere. That's violence to their whole psyche and their whole being. So all that's got to overturn. The Mind of South Africa, written by Alistair Sparks. Okay, he wrote this prior to the turnover. All right?
Yeah.
And he says something very critical about the African in South Africa. He says, they cling to the old habits of subservience to the whites because that's safe. Because it won't lead to them what happened with Chris Hani. It won't lead to what happened with Sobukwe. It won't lead to those types of conclusions. When they assassinated Dr. King, a movie came out about King, and at the very end of the movie, they show him an autopsy being conducted, and they're cutting into him, and his flesh laying. What's the message? I don't want to end up like him.
Yeah.
So that's deep in our psyche. But he goes on and he says it's safe, and they hold on to this because they are not yet sure in their own minds that whites are not superior. So where did that deep inferiority come from? Was it not connected to the spiritual side of us? Because our great strength is spirituality. But our people were deceived into thinking that God, because I know there's probably some callers who are going to say, oh, the Bible's a white man's book.
Yeah.
It's not a white man's book. What kind of book mentions Egypt and Ethiopia 1,500 times? That wouldn't make sense.
The land of Shem.
And that's the connection of Israel to Egypt and Ethiopia. There's a deep connection. Abraham was mistaken as an Egyptian. Joseph went into captivity in Egypt. And when his brothers followed him later, well, I didn't say after, he was sold in the, but there was another captivity we went in after that. But when his brothers came, there's Joseph sitting on a throne, a big man in the Egyptian society. They didn't recognize him, which tells us something very, very important, that in antiquity, the Israelites looked like the ancient Egyptians. They were the same. And guess what? They weren't white. They were black. And
Not
that
like in
is
the
why
movies.
they draw that
Not-
line. Not in the movies,
No.
but that is what influenced us. That's what these women here. This is from Sunday Times, 2001, when I first arrived here. In the beginning, Adam and Eve. In the beginning, what is the? My sister's a photographer. She's not looking at that.
No.
But they capture it and use it as the cover to imply that she's got her hands clasped in reverence, looking up at a white Adam and Eve.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
We know how imagery has affected us deeply, and so that's why our people to this day have a deep-seated reverence for all things white, all things European, all things American. It's deep in our psyche and in our being. And we have to go back to the roots of that and correct that. Because our children every Christmas are watching, and every Easter they're watching
A
white
Santa
actors,
and white
a
Santa
white
Claus.
Jesus, white Santa Clauses, etc. And of course it's flipped around here, where in the heat of the summer they're wearing these.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I
No, it
wanted to share something with you, Professor. Like when I actually first started teaching, I was like fully aware that's how I would start my courses, was all the images that are put out there, and then how people are identifying with those images, especially my students, and those images speak so much about not being of color and proud to be of color.
Right.
So I used to actually wait for my students for the first class, and I would sit in the back. And I would just sit in the back there with my tea and canister and just sit in the back, you know? And the students would come in and they would be like, oh my God, where's the professor? Where's the professor? Where's the professor? And like 15 minutes would go by, half hour. And then finally I'd just walk in the front and be like, what does the professor look like? And you and I both know,
Old white man.
as being professors of color, how it is in America being professors of color. And then I would just go into the first assignment, you know? Perceived, misperceived. You know what I'm saying? Preconceived.
All right, preconceived notions.
There you go. And that was my final course for when I did my master's. And that was my show, my art show. We judge each other all the time.
All the time.
Even here, being in Uslanga, people think I'm on a break and I want to get money and I want to pick up a bunch of guys. And I'm in the space reading and researching and trying to find out stuff. I'm listening to Al Jazeera, but it's like we have that. It's not just between black and white. It's between young and old. And, oh, you got tattoos? You must be wild. Do you know what I'm saying? But we've been tattooing and doing scarification forever. So it's like, you know, we need to get away from that, you know, as far as looking at each other and having these preconceived notions of who we are based upon what has been fed to us, which is actually poison. Yeah.
True.
Everything's toxic in this culture. Right?
That's the truth.
Yeah. No. Thank you very much for that, Prof. Mvundis, khona la ufuna ungena khona. Hayi use right. Oh, it was that part about history. History is very important, really, because without knowing who you are, you won't know where you're going as well.
That's the truth.
Because you don't know where we come from, who we were. We just, like South Africa, they think history starts from 94. You know, they were young ones, because they're not told about what happened before. Everything is from 94 coming up.
That's the truth.
And that's why some of them just behave that way. I said, but who's going to teach them? Because the system is not teaching them.
There it is.
It's us. That's why we need our own communities where we're going to have our own curriculum or whatever, educate our own. What did Malcolm X say? The mind of the... Yeah, you can't just send your kids to be educated by your oppressor, something like that.
Yeah.
And what's really important, if you decide to have, you know, more education within the system, I really recommend The Pedagogy of the Oppressed, which is a very, very good book. And I put that into many of the settlements and garrisons, is The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Will wake up many people.
We'll have to look for that one as well.
Yeah.
We have to look to. Time now is 29 minutes after 10 o'clock. We're going to be going for a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be continuing. We didn't finish about Dimona. Dimona is very important. So we have to just go in deep when we go into Dimona as well, because you have your own system, I must say. Yeah, you have your own system.
Right. Because
without a system, we can't do anything, because we're depending on other people's system.
Right.
We depending on everybody else's system, but we don't have our own. That's why it's easy when they pull out their system, everything collapses, because we don't have our own. Mfundis, against Chachi Cave. Inanda 88.4 FM, Mutabaga Sambuchi. Law is catching a manje city 20 minutes to 11 o'clock. Mlaleli ukhumbule ukuthi lapha ngo-11 uzokwazi ukuthi uthumele imiyalezo yakho, ama-comments akho. You can join us on WhatsApp. For your comments, it's 0687649969, 0687649969. You can send your comments there. And we are live on Facebook, on Asilungiseni on Facebook. I'll send the link. I see someone the link on our WhatsApp. I'll send that link just now. Sar Ahmadiel, always use like the Arabic Sar Ahmadiel, and we have Professor Williams also in the house. Sir, we are back. We are back to Dimona. Dimona. You said, what does Dimona mean? I remember.
Well, Dimona, the root of the word has to do with wearing away of false beliefs.
Oh.
It's it's a dry riverbed, basically. And if you know anything about wadis or dry rivers, when the rains come and the water rushes through the mountains, that it wears a channel into the course, and it can be dry for 11 months out of the year or more, but nevertheless, the wearing down of error or false beliefs. That's what the root of the word Dimona means. That's the town that we live in.
So, in Dimona, you have your own systems, your own culture, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our own everything.
Everything.
Because you can't leave anything out where the Creator's concerned, where your health is concerned, where positivity is concerned. You've got to investigate every aspect of your life. The food. Food is central to, it's a central behavior that we all engage in. Some people live by the 3 square meals a day idea, which actually we've come to understand that's too much. Usually, there's no more central in activity that we engage with socially than sitting down and eating. And what's on our plate is central to our health and how we feel and how we relate to one another. So we understood that on arrival in Israel, in Dimona, that the choice of food was critical. And we became vegans. Our spiritual leader led us onto the vegan pathway. And it was based on the idea that in the book of Genesis, the first chapter, in the 29th verse, we were given a vegan diet, a plant-based diet. Now, the Creator thought enough to give us instructions about diet and put it in the first chapter of the first book. It must be critical for us to understand that. And some who are biblically literate would probably say, well, wait a minute, Moses said we could eat this animal, we could eat that animal. Yes, that's true, but that doesn't mean he's a hypocrite. You have to understand the context, because anything after Genesis, the 3rd chapter, humanity is in decline. And so the later diet that Moses prescribed was for a fallen people in the hopes that he could level out their decline and get them back to the pristine diet of the beginning. So that's just in the area of diet. But when you talk about culture, when you talk about the clothing, when you talk about the way that parents deal with children, how husbands treat wives and vice versa, that whole people-to-people ecology is involved in that. The products that we consume are the fact that we fast one day a week, every Sabbath, sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. We fast completely, except if you're under 8 years old. You're allowed to consume fruits and what have you. We don't cook on that day. And it's to give the body a rest. That was the whole idea. 6 days you would labor, work, toil, struggle. And the seventh day didn't say go to church, didn't say go to mosque, temple, whatever. It said rest. The seventh day was a day of rest. And critical for our bodies, our temples, critical for that is allowing the inner organs of man and woman to rest. And so that's built into our culture. And we look forward to that day. It actually rejuvenates us. It's not a hardship. It's not a torture. It's actually part of a life cycle that actually benefits us. And we feel the benefits of that. It extends our lifespans. So we've become known in Israel and around the world now as the Village of Peace. We didn't name it. Someone else came up with the name. He said, "Yeah, y'all are Village of Peace," and it stuck. And it makes sense. And so that is our manifestation of the prophetic role of being an Israelite, to let that light shine, to be a light in the midst of all this darkness in this world. And we know that if people adhere to these ideas, that they will also receive the benefits of it. So we're prophetically at the right place at the right time, doing the right things. Isaiah said that in the latter days that the word would go forth from Jerusalem. So we're manifesting that. We're doing it in every element and aspect of our lives. And we're shining that light bright. And as the world continues to get darker, more and more people are going to focus on what's going on in Dimona.
Dimona, you talk about you being vegans in Dimona. So how's the rate of things like diabetes and all these conditions that we see around us here? People like, it's a lifestyle. You have to have these diabetes tablets and ARVs and all these other pharmaceuticals in Dimona.
Yeah, we've been blessed to eradicate a lot of the westernized not communal, but what they call non-communicable diseases. In other words, those that are lifestyle related. And so to have a system in place where you encourage all of the people to engage in exercise, be it Zumba classes, be it dance, be it yoga, be it basketball, be it baseball, be it running the trail, whatever it is that gets to you and that gets your heart rate up and gets you sweating to push out toxins, etc., then we have that system in place. Does that mean that everybody adheres to it? No, of course not. But when we see somebody putting on a few extra pounds, we're going to say, hey, when last time you've been on the trail? So that kind of concern, in fact, our spiritual leader coined the phrase, that is our holy concern, to go out and exercise. Our holy concern, a concern for ourselves, a concern for our brothers and sisters' health. Because if you don't have your health, you've got nothing. You cannot, I don't care what your amount of wealth is, you will never enjoy it. And so our longevity speaks for itself. The fact that, bless her soul, our Queen Mother was with us. She made it to 105, and she was active and conscious, and she wasn't just sitting there and being taken care of. She was life for us is movement. And so we can say that we have made great strides, because if I were to go, I've done it. I've already gone back to my former community where I grew up in Washington, D.C. I couldn't find any of my friends. I couldn't find them. I can't find them on Facebook. I'm left to conclude that they're just not around anymore. And I know, given the life expectancy rates around the world, that we're already far beyond those in terms of what we've been able to accomplish. And we can say that didn't just fall out of the sky. There's a plan, there's a formula that leads to that. and we can share that formula. And anywhere in the world, if somebody follows a formula faithfully, they should get the same results. So yeah, we've had great success in that area.
Professor.
Yeah, Professor. I wanted to make a point, and I'm sure you're fully aware of this, especially when it comes to diet. The eye of Horus, the pineal gland. And we talk about food, and we talk about the decalcifying the pineal gland. There's a time, even now, some of us can communicate to each other without even using our cell phones. Right? And some of us have those gifts. And I usually fast every 4 months, and people are like, oh, that's crazy. But I knew when COVID was coming. I knew it was going to happen in the United States because I was taught to clean and decalcify that pineal gland. Because a lot of people don't know that the eye of Horus, that's basically when the brain, cut the brain in half, that is the eye of Horus. And that's how we're able to communicate to each other. And I also believe that what you're doing, I commend you for that, because you're bringing it back to tradition. You're bringing it back to a time that if there was something that was going on that would be detrimental to us as a community, that would be able to let each other know before it happens.
My sister mentioned epigenetics earlier, and we know that the genetic preconditioning or what do they call when you anticipate getting, well, you know your father had this, you know your grandmother had this, that you should get ready to have it. That's not true. Your genes only make for the expression of 3% of something happening to you. The other 97% is environmental, it's lifestyle, it's thinking, mindness, awareness, consciousness. And so if you change your behavior, if you change something simple as clothing, the wearing of synthetic clothing is toxic. Your body sweats. You need to take a break.
No. That's something we all miss about this. People don't believe when you tell them, "Hey, you're wearing plastic."
Exactly. And that is absorbed into your skin. Your skin is your largest organ of the body, and it absorbs as well as excretes. So when you sweat and you excrete toxins, if you're not wearing a natural fiber that will soak up the toxins and then you wash it out later, then that toxicity sits on your skin and eventually is reabsorbed back in your body. So 10, 20, 15 years later, you're wondering, how did I get this? Well, it was a buildup of toxins. So everywhere, from the air you're breathing, the food, the pesticides and insecticides that are sprayed on your food, and people don't always wash those chemicals off. The makeups, you name it, the body creams, you can't pronounce all the stuff that's in these things, and it's killing us slowly.
I just want to make one point, because it's like, even when I got here, a lot of people aren't aware of the natural things that are there. They're not aware of Body Shop. So if I see them shopping and I see the women trying on the lipstick, I'm like, no.
Go over there.
You got to go to Body Shop. And they're like, yeah, well, it's more expensive. And I said, but they don't have any chemicals in there, so your medical bill is going to be more expensive if you're buying Revlon or L'Oreal. And they go, oh, thank you so much. I'm like, it's all natural. You got to stay with the natural now, because it's natural's close to God. Like,
even the hair. They buy from Chinese.
Exactly.
Everything is all around us.
Everywhere we turn. And we know that there, I have an article here, of course. I brought it. I'm not going to pull it out now, but it's known that many of these chemicals are what are called endocrine disruptors.
There you go.
Also known as gender benders. So when they get into our systems, they actually tamper with our gender hormones. Men tend to become feminine, and women and develop breasts, and women tend to grow beards and become harder,
masculine.
And so you said something earlier about education. We can't get around the fact that we're all only doing what we've been taught. So if we're going to change things, it's going to have to come from a new idea and some new teachings that the people are going to be exposed to. And obviously it won't be at WITS, it won't be at UKZN, it will have to be from another source, a divine source. And at Jerusalem, this is what we're advocating and what we're practicing. Again, we've got another formula that works. It's verifiable.
The professor, we mentioned a lot of things. The main thing is water. We all drink water. We cook with water. We bath with water.
Sure.
The study of Dr. Tyrone Hayes.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The tadpoles.
Yes. It shows it's another gender bender.
Yes, definitely.
It is another gender bender.
It's inescapable, and we have to build our communities, and this is an idea central to what we advocate, is that not just the village of Peace and Dimona, but Ben-Ami advocated what he calls the restoration village, where we return back to a lifestyle of rural life, of rural cohesiveness. You don't find prostitution in a village.
It's true.
And I understand, you may have a village madam. I understand that, but she's not standing on the corner.
No.
You don't have homeless in a village.
Never.
You don't have crime in a village because people know, oh no, he's not supposed to be here, or we know we know where to, and they'll bring the perpetrator to you to resolve it.
True.
That's village life. And so all over the world, this idea of being crammed into these cities, there's enough land all over the planet to go around if we changed our mindset and we would live in peace and harmony. But we got to teach the new idea.
That's why I always laugh when the South Africans complain about, but we don't have land. That's an excuse, the biggest excuse you can have, but we don't have land.
And
what do you mean you don't have land?
and if South Africans were blessed to be able to get land the way that they want it right now, title deeds, let's be honest, how many would sell those title deeds to the Chinese tomorrow?
Exactly.
Right.
So again, the blessings are being withheld until we get that new thinking. And then we'll know what to do with the land.
The first law, maybe it's not law, it's the rule God gave to man, Adam and Eve, was about food. Food. Eat this, don't eat that.
Don't eat that. Instructions.
It's the first instruction, let me not say no. They gave it straight, eat this, don't eat that.
Yeah.
So food is very important. What we putting into our system, that's very important. Inanda 88.4 FM, Ukumbule Mlaleli 068 764 9969 068 764 9969. That's how you can get in touch with us, or on Facebook. Asilungiseni on Facebook. That's where you can get us. We are live on Asilungiseni on Facebook. You can catch us live. Sino professors, sino mfundisi, umfundisi lo makuthiwa sanje khulunywa ngumfundisi. Awungene eMeberu la kule mic singakayi indabeni. Kunensizwa la engifuna siyibambe. Uzisho ukuthi ubani.
Sanibonani, igama nguYahava uSar Ahmadiel, ngihlala khona la eThekwini. Basivakashele kule mpela sonto, so sithe asivele la ngoba singazange siqede umcimbi last time sila.
Wena uzanini la ngifuna uyibopha ukuthi lo nyaka uzophela ungafikanga la. Lo nyaka angikubekela idate engisho unyaka.
Ngeke uphele kumele nje sihlele nje.
Hayi ke qedile. Sibona. Okay. Sir, they don't want to come to the studio. You know, the last time you were here was when in December. Look now, it's November, you are back again.
Right.
None of them have come back here.
No.
I don't know what's wrong.
We have to fix that. Maybe they're shy.
We have to fix that.
The prophetic mandate is to cry aloud and spare not. Show our people their transgressions.
That's why I want him to tell the listeners when is he coming?
Yeah. Put that pressure on him.
I'm putting pressure.
He's more than capable.
Yes, I know. That's why I want him to tell the listeners when he's coming, because I don't want to promise listeners and then he doesn't show up. Inanda 88.4 FM asilungiseni lo yeah, ngiyabona ama comment ayangena kancane lapha ku WhatsApp u06 87649969 0687649969 uzosithumela lapho or asilungiseni uthumele ku Facebook page esikhona lapha ku Facebook live uzothumela kasilungiseni uzokwazi ukuthi usithole khona uthabo kaSambothi umfundisi umthembu sikhona sihleli nazi khuluma indaba la ukuthi singayishintsha kanjani imiqondo yethu ushintsha indlela yokucabanga singaloko siyitshela ukuthi yonke into soyenzelo uhulumeni abanye ba complain imhlaba asinayo cha umhlaba ukhona abafowethu uyabona nje egceke nje lele onalo umhlaba lowo kuningi khona nangu samajobe usefikile neindaba uyangena khona manje neindaba ika 11 kusina kutetelwane samajobe sekuyisikhathi sakho ke mlaleli lesi ukuthi ungene lapha ku Facebook ungene ku WhatsApp 0687649969 uthumele imiyalezo ngithi ngiyalunguza lapha ku Facebook hayi akubi kakhulu so sizoqhubeka sesolinda nje u WhatsApp kungaze kushaya isikhathi ngoba ngizobadedela la baqhubeke we shall continue with our talk still on the matter of Dimona. You said Shah, you are the Israelites, you are the chosen. Yeah. No, don't shy away from that, because you explained you explained when God says he chooses people, there's a particular a reason for that.
Sure.
To be the light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why you're sitting here and we're asking you, how are you doing this in Damona? How do you do? You are shining the light down onto us. So going back to Dimona, you were telling us about the food and about how to get healthy. We should go back to food security now. Yeah. You just come out of a war. There was war, nothing was coming in or going out. Mm-hmm. So how did you survive? What's the system you were using? Because we have to get lessons. If anything goes bad here, we must know as well which system can we put in place in case another lockdown comes. let me not even think about it. Well, let's say lockdown comes. How do we prepare food security?
No, great question, Thabo. We first of all, that idea of chosen, it's been interpreted from a white supremacist mindset, and that has made this idea of a chosen people somehow that they're better than some other people.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not what is meant by that terminology, biblical terminology. It is simply to call to mind a higher obligation and responsibility that some people have when they are in possession of a certain knowledge and mindset. They can't keep that to themselves. They must share that with others. They must expose others to that. That's an obligation. And in any organization, in any entity, in any country, any family, you have, this idea of we're all created equal. The great United States Constitution starts off with that, or whatever, whatever it was, that founding document. That's a lie. We're not all created equal. There are some of us who are fast, some slow, some tall, some short, some quick to catch on, and some not so quick. So those who are given those greater gifts, they are obligated in a system wherein equality is the standard to share with others, to expose them, and to look to the strong have to look out for the weak. So that's a completely different interpretation of chosenness. Okay, in the area of agriculture, our Prince of Divine Agriculture has begun. In fact, he's been at this for years. He and other brothers and sisters in the community have been at it for years, where it's actually called a National Food Security Program, where we've gotten some land close by, because we've had farms in different places around the community, but it's close by, and it allows us to produce kale greens, collard greens, cauliflower, okra. I know I'm missing a lot of the various products, but it allows us to actually grow these items, and they are completely free of pesticides. We don't have to worry about that, and it does sustain us, and it is in a place to sustain us if and when the access to foodstuffs is threatened. So food security is critical. I have a garden in front of my home. I have an entire list of people who was able to send, a little bag of okra, and by the way, the okra that I grow there is a South African variety. And it does quite well there.
Yeah.
And I love okra, and it grows taller than me.
I stopped growing okra because I can't cook it.
No.
Oh, you don't like it when it's cooked?
No, I can't. I've tried many times. I failed. I said I'm not planting this thing.
And
I have a lot. Whenever I grow it, hey.
Have you ever consumed it raw?
No.
Try it raw.
Yes, raw.
Okay.
Try it raw. Another element in our diet is that we have 4 weeks out of the year where we consume nothing but raw foods. And then the standard is also that every family, every household should have 2 days a week that they consume only raw. And then every day you should have one meal that's raw. So that's a lot of raw food, because when you cook it, the nutrients are destroyed, it breaks down. And I too, Tabo, I don't like the sliminess of okra. We tend, and particularly in Africa, particularly in Ghana and places, the tendency is to overcook the food until it becomes
and put
mush.
a lot of oil in
and
it.
a lot of oil, a lot of salt, of course, and that's harmful. But we should, the book of Job says, he asked the question, is there iniquity in my tongue? And the answer is yes, because the taste of salty and sugary foods was acquired. Sugar is like a drug. It's literally like molecularly in molecular language. It actually is one step away from cocaine or something similar to that, where it's
that's right. It's almost in every food now. We are eating a sugar-based diet.
Glad you said
and
that.
so one of our do not do's, one of our 10 commandments in this dispensation of time, thou shalt not consume high fructose corn syrup, also known here as golden syrup.
Yes.
Okay? Because they found out that it actually short circuits the signal from your gut to your brain that tells you stop eating, I'm full. And so when the big food companies, those cravings, when the food companies realized that, do you think that they said, wow, we've got to go back and reformulate this product because we can't override the people's defense because they're going to be obese, they're going to have all the diseases associated with obesity? No, they raised a toast in the shareholders meetings because they knew our profits are going to continue to soar. They're not getting ready to take those out. They're not getting ready to make tobacco products illegal. They're not getting ready to make liquor illegal. They're not going to do these things. It's not in their interests, but we have to have sense enough to know we're at war. We're at war. They're not shooting bullets right now. Although there are some boars I've seen recently, they're ready for that. They want that to happen. They feel that they can win such a conflict. Our greatest power is our spirituality, that relationship with the Creator, and of course that involves loving ourselves. And that love has to be in the form of, hey, brother, you can't eat that. You don't need to smoke that. The first cigarette did you ever take a puff on a cigarette?
Nah.
Never.
Never.
Aren't you blessed? I can't say the same thing.
It's like energy drinks. I'll never put that thing in my mouth. I don't know the taste.
No.
What put me off was when they opened the can. That thing is like alcohol. It smells like alcohol. It just goes. This thing is too strong.
Your first line of defense, that nose.
That nose told me no.
So go in an abattoir Your nose doesn't tell you that this is not something I need to be putting into my mouth. You know, you. Speaking from experience, that first puff on a cigarette, I was like, "Ew, what is?" The body naturally reacts and says, "Not
it's
in
rejecting this thing."
But you see the advertisement, you see your friends, you see them drinking this. Same thing with the alcohol. You drink that alcohol; it's nasty. But you override it because you want to be accepted. You want to look like you're having fun too. You want to be seen as sexy
and luxurious.
You know. And so all of this is being put on the people. Again, we're all only doing what we've been taught. There's a plan. Yeshua said, "Except those days be shortened, except that dominion of the earth in these end times be shortened, there should no flesh be saved." So that's a radical change that we have to make. And if we don't understand there's a plan, we won't have a counter plan for it. Their plan will unfold. You see this?
Yeah. The changing face of Africa.
Changing face of Africa. And again, imagery. What is this image saying? What is the message for us? This was 1984, I believe. 1984. The changing face of Africa from black to white. From black to white. That's the message that I pick up.
That was before bleaching.
Oh, really? And you know, most South Africans have no idea that this is the case. We deliberately spread AIDS in Africa. We were joking yesterday talking about how they thought it was aid, A-I-D, you know, and no, we gave you a lot of it, you know. We gave you AIDS, plural, you know. But they had a plan. Do we think all of a sudden in 1994 that they shelved those plans, that they've forgotten about that they've changed that racist mindset? We have to be conscious. We have to understand that there's nothing new coming with this. There's nothing new to be expected from this. When you see the man with the powdered wig,
swearing in the president,
and the suit and tie, all of those are cultural trappings that identify the mindset of those who are wearing it. So there's nothing new that could come out of this. We knew it then. There's nothing new that can come out of that. It's the same old fixed fight. Now, this is what missionaries were spreading in Africa, that a white Jesus was knocking out a black devil. A black devil. This is the reality. And until we change the dynamics of the mindset, the reality is we're going to keep getting knocked out. And there's a time limit. There's an expiration date on how long we can stay getting knocked out. Now is that time. We've got
the enemy knows.
Change some things. And they know it.
They're panicking.
And they know that their time is short. And
they are panicking.
They're panicking, and they're throwing everything against us now. You know.
Yeah, I want to make a point too, Professor. You're right on with everything that you're saying. Is that with the food? You notice also too in the United States, it's like, oh, okay, we accidentally found glass in these. You know, in this bread, or we accidentally found this in those natural homeopathic medicines. So now they're actually putting stuff in the food, in the natural stuff, and people are getting sick from it. This has been happening quite a bit. And it's also to kind of lock that down for those who do want to even go the natural way. How is it that they're now putting stuff in our natural homeopaths? You're finding these chemicals in there. We had to take them all off the shelf now, but people got sick from natural medicines. That's something that we didn't really see before, but it's becoming a pattern.
Yeah. Trying to discourage, but you still get sick. Even that's not good for you.
You asked me about cigarette. I just remembered what stopped me from smoking. And I just remembered about maybe 12, 13 years, one of my friends, they were smoking behind the shop somewhere in the township. So I was the only one who didn't want to smoke. So he says, smoking is not for sissies. Hey, then I got so angry. Hey, the fight that came out of that, and I beat him up. So I don't need cigarettes to be like masculine, be a man, manly. So because I want to, this thing is useless anyway. They're smoking because they think it makes them tough or what. I already beat him with his smokes. Yeah, 98.4 FM. It's 11:24 now. Let me just see. I think we don't have a lot of people are listening. I know when we have such conversations,
they're absorbing.
They absorb.
Yeah.
Let me see on WhatsApp. Ukuthula estudio nginilalela ngisematiko siyabonga kumfundisi noprofessor lapho ngolwazi nokusichazela ukuthi uhulumeni uyidlala kanjani imiqondo yabantu bathinte nokudla ne-fasting izinto ezibalekile empilweni yethu singadli kakhulu singadli yonke into siphinde sidle ukudla siphumuze imizimba yethu impilo enhle kaboko eqolomba ematiko. That's why our listener here is thanking you, both of you, for the knowledge you are sharing and opening our minds and exposing the bad system that we are in. And especially saying about fasting, we shouldn't be like eating all the time. We have to rest our our stomachs as well. And we shouldn't consume everything to keep healthy. Yeah,
that's the truth.
That's what he is just saying. Yeah. Thank you for lucky this one is in English. I thank you for the topic. It's making great sense. You said it all. The problem is left with the strategy of implementation, because people of the time are locked in the system, even those who understand the condition and willing to change. But our problem, we depend on the system because fear of taking risk was installed into us, to fear to do things in our own. We fear failure. As we know, our ancestors were brutally stripped of everything they possessed, morals, pillars of their system to sustain themselves, their way of worshipping. And this generation understands the current system. According to my opinion, I think we need a system to force, eradicate, and replace the current system, because talking is over time and it's proven that it's not working. Ngiyabonga Dlamini. Thank you, Mr. Dlamini. I think Dlamini is talking about the system. That's what you are sharing, sir. The system of Demona. We do have systems. We do have systems are out there. We just have to implement them. Right. As the professor was saying, in Swaziland, they say they lack resources. We do have resources.
No, you have resources here, but they said, yeah, you have them here. There in Swaziland, they say they don't have resources. But when they say they don't have resources, I think also, too, it's those resources that they have access to, but they realize they don't have access to them because they're not in the frame of mind to know that they have. So that's the conditioning once again.
Yes, right? Yes. It's true. Here's another one. This is a voice note. Why is it not opening now? Okay.
Manje ukufundisa into abayifundisa abantu umbangi nabanzelwe akhuluma ngento enika imali abantu lekho abantu kendaba zeyimanje nemali beyikhuluma ngento enika imali abafundi ukuthi abantu bakhanyisele bafuna abantu bekhaya nje bilandela ngakubona bekhipha imali benja abafuna abantu babeni ngiditsho phela abantu kumele bangakhulu kakhulu ngokuthi manje siqala ukuthi bephelile ukuthi nesenkhona ukuthi khale i-dimension right-ke kakuhle kakhulu injani exercise manje bona yonke lento abayikhuluma uthi feel right to exercise khona kube la ukuthi la uthi eat bearings izikhalula uyini lapha insimini yasidini ngokuthi hayi khona kwesempela nesino government uthi wena yeke namasystem awafakayo nawo futhi anomdlele la straight that lento lesencane esibuzana sibonke wena uAstungisile into isincane sikuzolema lokusitshalile mina khona kunzima kodwa
our guest, our listener here is saying, what you're sharing here should be it's the pastor's duty. Pastors should be telling people what you are telling, because they have the people all the time. They should be sharing this knowledge, telling them the system. In fact, even the black presence in the Bible, they don't teach about it.
No.
You know, Sunday schools, they have Sunday schools. Should be installing that in the kids, that there's black presence in the Bible. This is us. The Bible is talking about us, you know. But they still preaching the white Jesus, and when you die, you're going to heaven. That's all.
That's right. That's right.
So see, the thing is that Jesus is supposed to return, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that a lot of things that are happening in the world is because of the question of whether or not Jesus would return as a white person.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the United States, we say church and state. They're one and the same sometimes, most of the time.
True.
Right.
True.
True.
Yeah.
True. Let's go to Facebook. Ayandaba. Uchino ayandala.
Nazi izindaba zenanda 88.4 FM nononduduzo nomvalo.
We don't have a news bulletin now. This is a mistake. News is coming up at 12. It's time now, it's 11:30. Yeah. We're supposed to be having a break, not news. No, we don't have any news. So let's continue. Just double checking. We don't have any news. Inanda, to whom much is given. Oh, another one has just come in. Let me read this one first. Psalms 33:12. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. We've been serving foreign God, and we are serving him wrong. Let me see. Ayandandaba. To whom much is given, more is required, expected. I agree with the guests. The ones that claim to be chosen have missed the plot. Chosenness comes with a divine obligation, and the rest of us have yet to witness that obligation from those who have placed themselves in that status. She says identity theft.
Keep your eyes on Jerusalem, though.
Yeah. I understand. Pastors and the clergy is part of the problem. They were purchased a long time ago. Say they are part of the problem. So, let me see who else is here. Oh, still got more. Molweni, the world is not ending. It is. Oh, she was talking about the poster. The world is not ending. It is ending for those and to those who have a limited existence and a limited lifespan. Sikhumbuzo sikizimbane, we are doomed. Makungena abantu abangaziwa bangene kanjani, sibe nezethu izinkinga zingaxazululwa nabo bonke bokufika besonelizwe. Angizwe lekugcineni. Oh, basonele izwe. Hey, ngiyabonga lapho etem uyayizwa wena ukuthi yapi la iyakhona. Spesihle mnala plenteous greetings. Given our sense of the divinity in nature, our dreams, and plus idea that the kingdom of God is within you, how do you personally experience or make sense of the existence of God? Not as a theological concept, but as a living internal reality. Does God exist? If yes, who is God, sir?
Well, my brother my brother here, standing here in the studio with us, he made a comment yesterday. He said, but we are gods. And that's not taking, that's actually in the Word. That's in the book of Psalms, I think the 82nd division of the Psalms. And we have to understand that. As children, the first God that we'll ever know is our parents. And parents set and prescribe limits and boundaries for the child. That's the responsibility of a responsible parent. And so the only way that we as people can grow and understand the capital G-O-D, is that we understand that relationship with our first G-O-D, those parents. And if we're able to process that, we can get to the point where we'll understand the limits and boundaries that the big G-O-D prescribes for us as people. But if that relationship isn't intact, then we'll miss it. We'll have the kind of hardships and problems and consequences that go with not following instructions from your G-O-D, little G-O-D, and the big G-O-D. So there are consequences to behavior. And the whole Bible, the whole biblical story is based on the history of a people who walked contrary to what they were taught, what they were told to do and not to do. They violated all of that. And so that earlier comment about the pastors are certainly a huge part of the problem. They're supposed to be teaching us the proper way. And so, the scriptures call many of them hireling shepherds. They're in it it's a good job for them. It's not their life's work to insist on imparting truth to the people. It's about, getting those tithes and that nice trip and that new coat for the wife. That's just being honest. And so those are that's the kind of leadership that you have to, at the local level, insist upon, and stop falling into this trap about every 5 years, vote and the next cycle of the elections. This is what our people in America are trapped in. It's not a Democratic Republican problem. It's the entire system is corrupt and fallen already. They don't have answers because the problem is spiritual. It's not religious.
Let's go for a commercial break. Love this song. Love this song. Asa. Thank you. Thank you, Asa.
Get to running.
I know.
Fire on the mountain, people are not even realizing. No. They're just drinking and dancing. Hey.
Oh, that's so true. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's beautiful.
We are wrapping up. Inanda, about my song when I do gardening. Thank you, Inanda. Fire on the mountain, top ready. Inanda, ingomale. We don't have such music anymore on the radio. It's just dancing and dancing.
It's so important.
Nakwam Ben Israel. We are thankful and grateful to Sar Ahmadiel for bringing the truth so that we can also make conscious decisions about all the cultural aspects that we have inherited from the system that wishes to keep us at the lowest level of thinking about ourselves and our people. Vibrating low. Keeps us vibrating low. True. Let me see. Just have a VN here. Mzokhona ivoice note yakho ayidlala ngazi iyahamba la kodwa ayikhulumi. Something wrong with this VN. No, esophinde zamenye kodwa akuzwakali lutho Mzokhona la ikhona iVN yakho kodwa akuzwakali lutho. Siyaxolisa ngalapho. Let me see if we got more comments. I'm on Facebook. Nothing on Facebook now. Let's continue. We only got 15 minutes to go. Prof, anything to add? We are wrapping up now. Sir.
Okay. Okay. Well, I did say something. At this very moment, South Africa is hosting the G20.
Yes, very important one.
It's been billed as the leaders of the world coming together to solve the world's problems and to point us in a new direction. That's basically what they're advocating.
Yes.
And that doesn't even make sense. Because when you realize that these are the very powers, these are the very authors of the ideas that have brought the world to the state that it's in currently, how do we think that these same people are going to lead us back to sanity? It doesn't make sense. And so I thought it was a good thing that Donald Trump wasn't going to be in attendance.
Yeah.
Because that would give us the opportunity to not get caught up in that foolishness of that world. But then I turned around and see that the Pope endorsed the G20 after that. And so then I was like, I was worried all over again.
Did our president go to the Vatican?
That's
the Vatican.
That's at the Vatican, yes.
I give up. I give up.
And so the idea, and I've spoken to you and many others about this. The last time I was here, a Zulu version, a Zulu translation of Frantz Fanon's "Wretched of the Earth" had just been released.
Yes.
Wow.
And I advised people, don't even read the first few chapters. Go to the conclusion. And in the conclusion, I will read a bit of what our brother Frantz Fanon. Now, Frantz Fanon was an African. He was a psychiatrist. We are psychologically affected. We're psychologically sick people. Okay, our thinking is wrong.
Yeah.
And there was a concerted effort that went into that. So Frantz Fanon, being a psychiatrist, diagnosed this in 1961 with his book, The Wretched of the Earth. And he says this. He says, "My brothers," of course, whenever you say brothers, it's inclusive of our sisters. Okay. So, my brothers, how is it that we do not understand that we have better things to do than to follow Europe? Come, comrades, the European game has finally ended. We must find something different. We today can do everything so long as we do not imitate Europe, so long as we are not obsessed by the desire to catch up with Europe. Europe is running headlong into the abyss, into a pit. We see it headed over the cliff. We see it ending. We would do well to avoid it with all possible speed. Let us decide not to imitate Europe. Let us combine our muscles and our brains in a new direction. That, of course, was the inspiration for my message today. Ben-Ami told us a long time ago in a book he wrote called The Messiah and the End of This World. He said we had to get out of that mindset where we as Africans were always trying to catch up with Europeans.
Yeah.
And that if we just simply understood that that's going in the wrong direction, and again, if we made a wrong turn and found ourselves headed to Pietermaritzburg this morning, we would never have gotten to Inanda.
Exactly.
So if you realize that you're not getting where you want to go, you're not achieving your objectives, then at some point you have to be honest with yourself and say, hey, we made a wrong turn. We made a wrong deal, a bad deal. You have to stop and turn around and go back. And the good news is that once you stop, and this is Ben-Ami's teachings, when you stop and turn around, you are automatically in first place. You're ahead of everybody else because America and the West, they can't stop going in that direction if they wanted to. Because if they One of my brothers right here in studio was sharing with me that his circle, they said that if they pull out their investments in these things that they know are failing, it's going to fail faster. So they're damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Wow.
We have the blessing of being able to watch this in real time, and we see the dead end it's headed to, literal dead end. We would do well. We've been given a spiritual eye to say, got to come out of that. Got to stop, turn around, and go in a new direction. And the only way that new direction can come about, there's got to be some new teachings, got to be a new message, a new doctrine, and a new model and example. That's the Damona model. So we're watching it, we're seeing it, and people say, my last comment.
Yeah.
It's kind of disheartening to see the massive amounts of wealth and military might and political clout and all the great things they're doing. Scripture says at the end we'll say, is this the man? Is this the man who made kingdoms to tremble and the earth to shake? Because we will have exposed him as just a little puppet off in the corner behind the curtain. So scientists discover the tipping point for the spread of ideas. Scientists have found the tipping point for the spread of ideas, because it's always like, man, how are we going to win? How can we get enough people? And what is that number? It's not 51%. We don't have to get a majority of people thinking like we're thinking. All we need is 10%, according to science.
Yeah.
And that here's the takeaway. Scientists have found that when just 10% of the population holds an unshakable belief, their belief will always, not half the time, not 20% of the time, but always be adopted by the majority of the society. We have an unshakable belief. 58 years living outside of America. We're clear about who we are, what we're doing, and that it's in the right direction. It's unshakable. We just need others to buy into it and be part of this. And we've won. We've already won. We've peaked to the end of the book, as we say.
Yeah.
And it says we win.
We win.
Hallelujah.
Prof, you said something about power when we're talking about power being a drug.
I was just thinking about that too.
Yeah.
The fact that so many people have power and they're not willing to give up their power.
No, you can't blame them.
And especially for the youth, the younger generation. All over the world, you see that they haven't really given any power to the younger generation. But you do see a movement with the Gen Z.
Yeah.
It definitely is happening.
Right.
One of the things that I want to leave with the listeners is this: have no fear.
Fear not.
Have no fear. Fear is useless. There is no fear. There's only, a lot of people say, well, I fear that I'm going to die, or I fear that I'm going to lose this. You know, I've come to the conclusion that there is no fear of death for me. There's only fear of silence. And the more that I'm silent, then the more that I would feel like I'm dying spiritually.
All right.
So I just want people to have no fear, because the end is the beginning.
That's right. That's exactly what the message is.
Yeah, the end is the beginning.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Sir, you are wrapping up now. We don't know when you'll be back. We can't even put a date because you're a busy man. Always up and down, up and down. Sometimes you come into Durban, it's during the week, and you also fly out again. But every time, you know, this is your home. And we appreciate having you. Thank you very much. Addition to the family now. Got the Prof. Professor Williams is the addition to the family now from the diaspora as well. So we like to thank you both for gracing us with your presence and sharing all the knowledge you have shared. And we know we're still going to be having you back, sir, anytime. anytime.
I always will try to line it up on the weekend.
Oh no, yeah.
So that I can be here for the first day of the week and
Yeah.
be on Inanda.
Please.
Hallelujah.
Prof, we sure we're going to be having you.
Oh, most
around
definitely.
A lot.
I have to say that this is one of the best experiences I've had. And I've been here for 7 months. I was just waiting to like drink that water of the divine, that conscious conversation, and I had it. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
This week, I guess we're going South Coast. This week. With the Prof.
Yes. Yeah.
Africa, here we come.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sir, when are you leaving? Will you be here?
I leave
On
Durban
Thursday.
tomorrow.
Oh.
I'll be, in fact, a week from today, I'll leave to go back to
We won't be having you at Africa. But anyway,
No, that's
thank
my
you.
sister. Y'all Santawa.
Yeah. Long. First time I saw you was with Asante.
Okay.
DUT.
DUT.
That's what?
Oh, you were
10,
there.
12 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Inanda 88.4 FM siyabonga kakhulu mlaleli. Esihlale nawe kusukela ngo9 kuze kube manje. Umdala evumile siyathemba ukuthi ngesonto elizayo siyobe sikhona futhi nendlovukazi iyobe ikhona ngesonto elizayo sithemba ukuthi konke kuyobe khamba kahle sisaphelele. Umdala esigcinile kusasa mina nondondoni 11:30 Health Mondays. I'll be here from 11:30 to 12. Nondon sharing some health tips. Sir would give me some health tips to share for you tomorrow. Yeah, ngizobengithenga emgodleni ngasa. Siyabonga. Inkosi yomusa ibe nani.